Alrighty. Let's do this. Alright. So, last time we made it to London and we started the trial. And now we're continuing the trial for Mr. McGilded. Alright, let's go. The Old Bailey Defendants Antechamber. What on earth just happened in there? Mr. Naruto, I've managed to find out what happened. Mrs. Sato, I was told it was an advanced form of smoke grenade, a type of exploding device that releases smoke. A smoke grenade? It sounds like the sort of thing ninjas use. They're just making sure everything is safe now. I think the trial will start again before long. But who would have done something like that? The police managed to catch someone who was trying to flee the courtroom, apparently. Flee the courtroom? Why? Well, it's a young girl around 15, I hear. A young girl? Then could it be the other passenger that Mr. McGilded was just talking about? My thoughts exactly. So it wasn't lying. Oh, what's become of Mr. McGilded, actually? There are so many things I need to ask him about, but he's not here. I think he was summoned to the prosecutor's antechamber to answer questions, along with the young girl. Who is she, I wonder? And what was she even doing here at the trial? She was taking a huge risk, and for what possible benefit to herself? There's another matter that's troubling me. What's that? The 20 pence. Oh, according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 4 passengers that night and a fare of 5 pence each. That comes to a total of 20 pence exactly. But now it seems like there were in fact 5 passengers, which means the figures don't seem to add up again. She's right. That is strange. Counsel for the defense! Kindly proceed into the courtroom! The trial will recommence in 5 minutes! Oh, thank you, officer. We'll go through it straight away. Well, whoever she is, I imagine this young girl will be asked to take the stand and testify now. I really can't imagine what she's going to say, but it could alter the whole direction of this trial. We'll know soon enough, Mrs. Sato. Yes. Oh boy. Alright, 18th of February. Alright, Old Bailey. Let's go. Huh? There's the young girl next to Mr. Byoda. Look, she must have been the one who caused the disturbance before. Well, after that rather eventful recess, the court will now resume the trial of Mr. Magnificioted. Now then, Lord Van Zykes. Lord, I believe you have established the cause of the smoke which veiled proceedings earlier. It seems to have been an advanced form of smoke grenade, the sort typically employed by the army. Good gracious! The army? What in the devil's name? It was an elaborate attempt by a young girl to cloak her escape from the public gallery, but she was caught. And now occupies the stand. Your name, girl? Are you responsible for the smoke grenade which induced such pandemonium here in my courtroom? What is the meaning of this implausible behavior? If I may, my lord. Yes, Mr. McGilded? I think perhaps I ought to explain here. Why is it that this wee lass was here in the first place, and why she tried to bolt like that? She's all tied up with the events of that night, so it is. Now, very well, is going to give your testimony. You'll explain to the court exactly how this young woman is involved in this case. Just what did happen that night? It's not like a defense lawyer needs that information or anything. What? On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Then, bourgeois! A loud thud and a wee scream woke me up in a fair start. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at my feet, so I sat him up on the seat across from me. Then I turned to find where the scream come from, and bless my soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, all covered up in a ball. I had to wee self away. Uh-huh. I remained somewhat baffled, I confess, but from what I gathered on the night in question, this young girl was indeed riding in the omnibus, is that correct? 'Tis exactly as the defense counsel said. This last was the fifth passenger, my lord. Okay. Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witnesses. Are you ready, counsel? Yes, my lord. Or rather, no. I have no idea where to start. Oh boy. Let's see where we go with this. On the night in question, I took the back seat of the omnibus and promptly nodded off. And when you first got into the omnibus, were there any other passengers already on board? That were not. The cabin was empty, and there was no one on the roof deck either. You were the first passenger, as it were, I see? Aye, and that's why I took the back side as I did. 'Tis the most comfortable, so it is. Could you explain exactly what you mean by the back seat? By all means, 'tis how you already described it earlier. I'm talking about the seat opposite the one in which the poor gentleman who established sitting. Like I said, 'tis the most comfortable and where I feel most at ease. And of course, I enjoy gazing through the skylight from time to time as well. Uh-huh. And brah! A loud thud and a wee scream woke me up in a fire start. A frick. Ah! Hold it. A loud thud, you say, and a scream? Aye, that's right. How can I explain it? It was like the sound of someone falling to the ground. That sort of noise. So you think it was the sound of Mr. Mason falling onto the floor, having been stabbed? Well, now, you'll remember I was asleep at the time, so I wouldn't like to say. And when the sound woke me up, I opened my eyes, and there wasn't a soul to be seen in the carriage but the fella on the floor. You didn't see anyone, but at the same moment you did hear a scream? From the seats above on the roof deck, I presume. Not above me, my lord. I thought it was from inside the cabin. But I wasn't altogether thinking about the scream. No, I was too stunned by the desperate stop before my eyes. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at my feet, so I sat him up on the seat across from me. You sat him up? The victim, you mean? That I did. On the seat across from me, as I said. I could plainly see the full devil. It was all gone. And you wouldn't leave a dead man just lying on the floor now, would you? Just common courtesy, so it is. I find that a little hard to believe. But Ada, Lord Van Zykes. Now why would that be? You wake up to find a man lying dead at your feet in a carriage. Any normal person would hail the cabman. Any upstanding member of London society, that is. Well now, as you know, I'm in something of a special line of business. The business of lending money at exorbitant rates of interest. Unfortunately, my lord, not everyone is thankful for the help I offer them, and some would even see me dead. So I tried, where at all possible, to avoid getting myself into entanglements with trouble. Are you suggesting we're just going to leave the man there? Heavens alive, no! I was intending to report it, so I was. Only I had a mind to find out whys and wherefores first. The whys and wherefores? Right you are. There are some details I wanted to understand before anyone else got to meddling. That we scream and heard. For example, wouldn't you, your good self, do the same? Yes, the scream he says he heard at the scene at the same time as the thud of the victim collapsing. Sure to find out that the scream had come from it, but so what did I find? I'm afraid I don't understand. I'm sure you told the court that there was no one else in the carriage except yourself and the victim. So I did, sir. So I did. As far as I can see, that is. What do you mean by that? Well, now, tis a queer thing. What the wee scream I heard as I woke up. It came from, if you'll give the vulgar expression, under me backside. Good gracious! Under your backside? And when I lifted the seat on which I'd been sitting, I found there was a wee cubbyhole there for storage. Mr. Naruto, we can examine the omnibus ourselves, remember? Yes, of course. The whole bus was submitted as evidence. That would be a very good time to have... Now, a good look around. And that's what I found. Well, first, actually, how about we actually look at the omnibus? So we're gonna go look inside. Under your backside. So there would be... This seat looks reasonably soft, but it's actually rather hard when you sit on it. And only just wide enough for the two gentlemen to sit side by side, really. Of course, an English gentlewoman would be dressed in such finery. It would be quite impossible for her to climb up to the roof deck, so she would have to be seated in here. A woman in a kimono would have the same problem. Women's clothes are very impractical, aren't they? The seat has a handle, it seems. And there you go. So, this is a storage compartment, but there's nothing in here. It's totally empty. Something doesn't seem right here, but I can't put my finger on what it is. Oh, there's a blood stain on the ground. That's blood, isn't it? Is something wrong? Oh, it's just... Well, this blood stain is so obvious that's all. And yet Van Sykes made no mention of it. I suppose it does seem a little strange. Why do I have such a bad feeling about this? And there's no cubby hole on this side either. Huh. Hold it! You say she was hiding herself? Aye, that's right. Twas hard to see in the dim lamplight, but she was all curled up in a wee ball when our eyes met. Well, me hop nearly stopped beating me in me chest. You're really overreacting this. Still and all, I pulled her out from under there and sat her on the seat opposite so we could have a chin wag with her. The seat opposite? That's right, just next to the dead gentleman there. You sat this young girl next to the corpse, sir? Well, as I'm sure I mentioned, as gentlemen in my position can often find themselves in mortal danger. So, I needed to find out just who this urchin was, you see. And while I was in the middle of talking with her, I heard another scream, a fellow's voice this time. Presumably that scream was Mr. First, who was sitting on the roof deck seats. Right you are again. I would say, sir. Looking down through the skylight, he must have seen this young girl and the gentleman with a knife in his belly. In other words, the previous witnesses did not in fact see you at all, Mr. McGilded. Believed to be yourself and the victim was in fact this girl and the late Mr. Mason. Aye, my lord. I was, as I think everyone understands now, sat at the back of the carriage out of sight. It is certainly plausible. The defendant is somewhat diminutive in stature, and readily confused, perhaps, with this young girl. After that, of course, with that scream from the gentleman over us, the driver realized something was wrong and pulled up the horses. Thank you, I've heard enough. The offenses explained are clear in my mind. However, at least one conundrum remains. Who is the girl? Her name is Gina Lestrade. Lestrade. Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer. Earns her crust among large crowds, relieving people of their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocket. What? A pickpocket? This girl here? A petty thief? Order! Order! Is this true, Miss Lestrade? Lestrade? Miss Lestrade, you will answer the question. Ah! How dare you! What's the meaning of this? Ah! The girl! She's gone! Open your eyes. Ah! I'm over here. Good gracious, how? What was the point in that little sidestep? You know what you're all thinking? Grown-ups all the same. This dirty little dipper, you'll say, slipped up and got caught on the job. She got herself back into the corner, so she knocked the jet. Go on, that's what your adds, ain't it? No, not at all. It's a court of law. We're here to determine the truth, not cast. Ah! Look, knives are for cowards. Only thugs use weapons like that. All I need for what I do is these fingers. I'm a professional, right? Right, maybe not in your eyes, but I got pride in what I do. Let me guess, you don't count smoke guns among weapons for thugs? Oh, yes, oh, that was a bag I listed the other day down where they keep the four-wheel drags. It's nice, isn't it? I like the pink best. Don't wait to think of my direction again! So, you admit that you were riding the omnibus on the night in question. Tis alright, lass. You can tell the truth now. Alright. Alright, yeah. It is like the Irishman said. Court accepts this girl, Miss Gina Lestrade, as a valid and significant witness in this case. Accordingly, young lady, we will now hear your testimony, if you please. You will tell the court exactly what happened in the omnibus on the night in question. Alright, if I have to. So I snuck inside the carriage before they hooked up the horses like always. But I was right. It was a right waste of time. I got nothing to show for Nina trouble that night. I tell you, you can't see a blind thing in the hiding place. It's pitch in there. Then after a while, I heard a loud bang, nearly jumping in out I did, and the scream just came out. And because of that, this swell found me. They did help me get away, mind. I love the accent. Like, yes, he did let you go. I fail to understand why you would let the street urchin go, Mr. McGolded. Oh, 'tis simplicity itself, my lord. You see, she couldn't possibly have killed the other passenger. I knew that for a fact. How? Yes, I'm sure I said before, sir. I was sitting on top of the place where she was hiding herself. I think a demonstration is called for. This is where I sat that night. And the cubbyhole which you have spoken is underneath the seat, I presume. Or, if I see. Yep. And there it is. Yes, it does appear to just large enough to accommodate someone of this girl's stature. Aye, but of course the wee lass was stuck in there, because I parked myself on the seat for the duration. Ah, so you see, that's why I let the lass bolt. I knew that if the police found her there, they'd automatically assume she'd done it, but I couldn't live with myself if this young life was ruined when all the time I knew she was innocent. Even though you must have realized your action would result in your own innocence being called into question. Not at all, my lord, not at all. I knew in my own heart that I was innocent. So I thought, it was worth taking a punt on my own good name, for the sake of the less fortunate lass. My goodness. What a perfect gentleman. My lord, this fine example of a man cannot possibly be guilty of a heinous crime like this. I'm ashamed of myself for ever doubting you, sir. Oh boy. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clear at the truth every time. Oh! Oh! State's alive! All 6 members of the jury consensual and they're leaning to a verdict of not guilty? Mr. Naruto, well, it must mean what? That we're victorious. Mr. They've won? Are you sure?
Objection!
What? Wait, what the frick? At the sight of my iron-heeled Wellington offends, pray do forgive the discourtesy. This really is a consummate example of the one monumental flaw in the British judicial practices, where evidence and reasoning should be paramount. Emotion rules the day. Emotion? The witness's latest statement gives us a clear insight into his true nature. What do you mean, his true nature? Do you really think Scotland Yard would have made such a glaring omission? After the incident, the omnibus was comprehensively searched by officers of the police. Obviously, the interior of this cubbyhole, as the witness put it, was included in their investigation. The compartment on the posterior seat was full of the coachman's belongings. It's noted in the black and white here in the police report. Good lord! The evidence has been tampered with. In order to corroborate Mr. McGill's story, someone has unlawfully removed everything from under the seat. What?! Order! Order! How could such a devious contrivance possibly have been affecting counsel? Naturally, we must acknowledge the deficiencies of the considerably constabulary in allowing this to have happened. However, I assure you, when the omnibus was wheeled into the courtroom this morning, the compartment under the seat was not empty. Well, my Nepalese friend. Huh? Me? When the carriage was submitted as evidence, doubtless you examined it in fine detail, as would any self-respecting practitioner of the law. Pray, what did you find the condition of the under-seat compartment to be? Oh, to be sure, this young gentleman will be to clear this up in a jiffy. Sorry? Go ahead, you tell the court now, fella. How this is all an elaborate excuse with the desperate Lord Van Zykes. Well, Consul, do you have something to say on this matter? How am I supposed to answer that? What can I say about the state of the little compartment under the seat in the omnibus? It was empty. Yes, I'm fairly sure it was empty. If I'm honest, my memory is about all this is a little hazy. As I suspected. It seems, my lord, that this Eastern initiate has the scruples of a by-street wine merchant. Huh? Mr. Naruto. Perfect, 'tis why this fella is representing me, after all. He knows just what to say, does he not? I don't... Well, now, it would seem the argument is moot. And the truth of the matter is for yous all to see, after all. That the cubbyhole under the seat is as empty as a devil's heart, so it is. That we could be sure of at least. Why? Why do I feel like something's not right here? I should like the jury to weigh in on this matter, I think. Would there have been something there if we checked? Like, if we checked in the last part? I'm curious about that. The compartment is designed to house equipment used to maintain the smooth running of the carriage. The guild's rules state the omnibuses should be properly and fully equipped at all times, so it certainly wouldn't have been empty on the night in question. Beppo, isn't that irresponsible? That money-lending fleecer and the pickpocketters are lying! Well, frick. I can't believe I was nearly taken in. The stinking rich are always stinkers. Nothing but cowards, a lot of them. What? Oh no. Eat the trick. Of course it's a trick. Ah. Oh no. Quite so. I must concur here. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time. Yes, but every time a different truth, it seems! My lord, I humbly exhibit the scales of justice. Clearly, a verdict of not guilty at this time would be wholly inappropriate. Thank you, counsel. But before we proceed any further, there is the matter of the outstanding cross-examination. Counsel for the defense, begin your questioning of the witness, please. Yes, my lord. What just happened? The whole balance of the trial just shifted almost beyond recognition. The Reaper of the Bailey is at work, it would seem. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. So I snuck inside the carriage before they hooked up the horses like they always. So, you were already in the omnibus before it set off on its run. Well, yeah, I mean, what's the point of spending a Joey to make a few bob, eh? That's a wrong idea, isn't it? I suppose she means there's no point spending money to make money. It actually makes sense. Counsel, may I remind you that this girl is a petty thief. Kindly refrain from entertaining her tenants. Well, that does clear up the little mystery of the fares in all. 4 paying passengers at 5 pence apiece, making the 20 of which to which the cabman testified, and the ones who escaped grace riding for free. The red conch of a driver always goes for some grub before his last run, see? So that's when I slip into the carriage and get myself in under the seat. Nice and easy, right? But your hiding place is a storage compartment full of equipment for the coach, you know? Yeah, there's brushes and buckets and whatnot in there, sure. I always chuck all that out and cram in a corner somewhere. No one ever seems to bother much. And yet, according to the report filed by the police officer who first arrived at the scene, the compartment was full of such paraphernalia. Well, I don't know nothing about that. Like I said, I moved all the stuff out so I could idle in the seat. That's all I can tell you. It seems we reached the end of that line of inquiry. Continue. But it was well waste of time. Got nothing to show for my troll that night. A waste of time? Why is that? Well, most nights I'm on my own in the God permit. At least some of the time. I beg your pardon. Did you say God permit? Oh yeah. Well, that's what my con call it. You'd say the omnibus, I suppose. The point is, any normal roller carriage ain't got no one in it for a while. And that's when you come out of your hiding place and get away? That's it. Only that night. This cub was sat on me from the start. And he didn't budge the whole way, did he? No, an inch. I was totally stuck. Do you mean to tell us that you were present in the carriage for the duration? You were under the seat the entire time while events unfolded in the unclosed cabin? Yeah. Right, mister? To be sure. As I was as shocked as anyone. You don't expect to lift the cushion you sat on and find a child now, do you? So this Miss Lestrade couldn't possibly be the culprit then. Right. I'll tell you what, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. So you couldn't see out into the cabinet at all. Not a jot. Most days I push the cushion up with me head and look out the crack. And then I have a butcher's, like I can have a butcher's at who I'm gonna fiddle. I thought you were a pickpocket, not a butcher. I mean, I can have a look. The seat I get under ain't as plush as the other one, see? So most of the time, the passengers plant themselves opposite. But for some reason, that night, this there Irishman spent the whole journey right over me head. And for that reason, you weren't able to push the cushion up to peek out, I see. Truth is, I ain't too happy in small dark places. Feels too much like being thrown into the clink. The only place to hide in them carriages, so it's Obson's choice. Why didn't she just stick to picking people's pockets in the open then? I'd say that there's a reason that she's not letting on, judging from her demeanor. So anyway, I was being scared. I was a bit scared and had to stick out there, nothing else for it. Then after a while, I heard this loud bang, and it jumped at my skin. I did, and the scream just came out. When you say a loud bang, do you mean the noise of someone falling to the floor? It could have been, I suppose. I don't remember so well. Point is, baby jump. And you let out a scream involuntarily? That's right. And then I felt the cushion over my head get lighter all of a sudden. Presumably when the defendant got up in order to help the victim, yes? Or not. It could equally have been the moment the accused stood in order to stab his victim. Could it not? Well, girl, did you see what happened at that crucial moment? Yeah, I saw it. Huh? I pushed up the cushion and had a quick butcher's look. Had a quick butcher's at while I had the chance, didn't I? The Irishman was sitting up the bloke would have fallen on the floor on the seat opposite. That matches Mr. Pagoda's account, of course. But then, the fella suddenly turns around and looks right at me. I sunk back down again, but it was too late by then. I should never have risked looking. It's because of that the swell found me. It did help me get away, mind. And when Mr. Pagoda discovered you, he pulled you out from your hiding place. How scared stiff I was. He dragged me out and sat me down on the seat and all. Next to the victim, Mr. Mason. Yeah. The bloke had a knife in its guts. It was still bleeding. And the carriage lurched a bit, and he ended up falling onto me. Ugh! Both my hands got me covered in blood. It got me feel sick as a dog. Both her hands covered in blood. After that, I believe he talked with Mr. Pagoda for a while. Is that correct? He asked me some stuff. Wanted to know my name and what I was up to and that. Then I heard something from up above. Someone screamed. Yes, Mr. First on the roof deck, one would presume. No, I didn't want no one to see my face, so I didn't look up. Then the horses were drawn up, smartish, and this here Irishman says to me, "Get back under the seat. I'll see that you can get away later." All 6 members of the jury had decided the defendant was innocent. For one brief shining moment, yes. It's clear they're all still very unsure. If we could just find some conclusive piece of evidence among this new testimony, I'm sure we would clinch the verdict we want. Yes, I think you're right, and I have this niggling feeling something's bothering me, but I just can't quite put my finger on it. So Second saw the carriage before they hooked up the horses, just like always. Okay, loud bang. Wait. Guy fell onto you. I'm... Oh, frick. I did not mean to do that. Actually, what would happen if I...
Excuse me.
Oh, what will that be, fella? Do you have something to say about that last statement? No, not really. I'm altogether happy with what's been said. Kinda, you the ask still and all. Ah! Yeah, have yourself a tip. Uh, does he think I was asking after his general well-being? Okay, let's see. What if I were to look back... Let's look back in the omnibus real quick. I can't look underneath. Wait a minute! Phoenix Wright omnibus? What? How did I not notice? How did I not notice? Joe Master or Job Masters London head office. Okay, let's look back here again. Yeah, there's nothing here. Right. Yeah, it couldn't have been a planned attack. It just couldn't have. I don't know. I got nothing to show for my troubles that night. After I hear this loud bang nearly jumped out of my skin. Loud bang? Stabbed in the abdomen with a knife while journeying in an omnibus, died due to an internal hemorrhaging resulting from trauma. Thrice fired. The knife in his abdomen is clearly visible, but his face was partly obscured by a... I am stumped. I am stumped. You can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitched in there. Like, I have no idea what we're even looking for. I don't know. Did I, like... Wait, did I ever... Like, I did press every statement, right? Oh, what?
Well, no.
Wait, you didn't react like that before.
Excuse me.
What? Is something wrong, Mr. McGilded? Oh, I do apologize. Was there something the matter, Counsel? I was just wondering if Miss Lestrade's last comment made something occur to you, perhaps. You seem to be thinking of something to yourself. No, it was nothing important. I was feeling bad for the poor lads is all. I remember feeling desperate myself as a young lad shut up in the dark. 'Twas terrifying, so it was. I see. Yes, I'm sure we can all sympathize. I'm still scared of the dark now. Aye, and I don't know about yourself, but I find that the darkness seems to make everything you hear seem that much louder as well. Yeah. I suppose it does. Maybe. Miss Lestrade, did you hear something that night? Anything? An unusual noise, perhaps? Nah, not really. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. But Jabbers! There's no need to tell the whole world my foibles, you little scamp. What a pity. If only Miss Lestrade had heard something, it might have given us a vital new clue. Well, she did hear. It's very important, I'm hoping. My lord, I believe that statement just made by the witness is profoundly important. Profoundly important? But why she said was that she heard nothing. Yes, which is profoundly important point. I'm almost sure of it. I'm almost sure I don't understand the inner workings of your Eastern mind, Counsel. Nevertheless, Miss Gina Lestrade, you will supplement your formal testimony by repeating the last statement, please. What? Supplement? What are you talking about? Don't give me all your fancy talk. I know what you're trying to do, but it won't work on me. That's right, insult the judge. Always a good move. I was straining me ears to work on what was going on, but all I could hear was snoring.
Hold it.
So you're straining to hear what was happening in the entire time since the moment you hit yourself? Not exactly, no. Sorry? Well, there was no one in the cabin to start with. I could just push the cabin up and have a butcher's to see what was what. But then when I saw the swell getting on, it got me in. Sounds like you noticed me. And Mr. McCullough sat on the seat under which you were hiding, correct? Yeah, would you add and leave it? What a mug. Said all I could do was listen. I was wanting to jump out of there as soon as I heard him leave, see? But would it? Not likely. Even though we stopped here and there, I never heard the door open. So I just had to stay put and listen to him driven his pigs to the market. Snoring like an old dog he was. Are there any conclusions we could draw from that one, I wonder? It doesn't add up. Mr. Straight, what you just told the court is clearly at odds with the facts. Huh? At odds? Are you sure, madam? Man? Absolutely. It seems my learned Ibanese friend is not as dull-witted as I feared. Sir Van Zykes realized it too. Counsel, I must insist that you bolster your claim with evidence, or some complicit party's name at the very least. Yes, my lord. I expect you to demonstrate this alleged contradiction to the court. While she was hiding in the omnibus that night, she heard nothing but the sound of Mr. McGillicuddy's snoring. But think. There's something else he should have heard. She really should have heard a person. Very well, my lord. Allow me to elaborate. On a particular sound that Miss Lestrade could not have failed to hear on that night in question, the sound of the very clean with the presence of a holy person.
Take that!
Thrice-fired mason? Yes, my lord. The sound that Miss Lestrade cannot have failed to hear is that of the victim, Mr. Mason, boarding the omnibus. Order! Order! Explain your reasoning, counsel. Miss Lestrade, allow me to confirm something. You claimed earlier that you were the first person on board the omnibus. Is that correct? Yeah, of course I was. I got on while the driver was in the pub, didn't I? And the next person to board the omnibus was Mr. McGillicuddy? That it was. Not a soul in the cabin when I got on board. At least, not in plain sight. So you were, all to the intents and purposes, alone in a closed cabin of the omnibus at that time? Did I not just say as much? I wasn't traveling with anyone else, if that's what you mean. Yeah, I saw him get on, remember? Through the crack under the seat cushion. He was on his own for sure. And from what we've heard, the carriage made a number of stops after that on its onward journey. During which time, did you not hear the door opening or closing at all? Nah, I never heard it. That's exactly what I was listening for, wasn't it? Waiting for this one to leave. Then why? In which case, when and how did the victim end up in the carriage? We know the victim collapsed inside a closed cabin of the omnibus. And what was Lestrade's statement about what she did or did not hear is at odds with the facts. So, what happened? Yes, this petty thief's statement is clearly flawed. Lord Van Zykes. Yes, he knew all too well that there was an inconsistency in Lestrade's statement. It would seem words of thanks are in order to my learned friend. What are you talking about? You have demonstrated impeccably. This witness and her colorful statements are clearly unreliable. Her words are convenient untruths, nothing more. He's dead right. How could the victim possibly not have boarded the omnibus? It makes no sense whatsoever. This girl's a pickpocket. Let's not forget that. What? She didn't even say anything!
I didn't want to judge this dear little mite just because she had some rather naughty ways, but I must say... I can't abide liars.
And neither can I! Mr. Foreman! I didn't want to judge the girl just because she had some less than salubrious ways, but I must say, I cannot abide liars. Hold on, that's 5 jury under delivering until it's guilty! Well, your consideration for others is refreshing, my Nibanese friend. To the considerable troubles you have spared me. Yes, very refreshing. What are you playing at? Have you forgotten who you're working for? You useless Eastern Abaddon? This is cottage, it's perfect. Number 2 is the only one left. Mr. Hardo, this is the way this is going. I know. If we can't find some new way to convince everyone of Mr. McGillicuddy's innocence, the judge will rule and we'll have lost. I very much want to believe the words of one of London's most respectable gentlemen, but those of us in service know we must accept hard truths. What? Wait! Yes, the witness's last statement seems to have revealed a critical inconsistency in her story. However, if we consider the possibility that her statement is in fact the truth, it may shed an entirely new light on this whole case. What are you saying? Counsel! I'm sorry, sir. Whatever do you mean? Counsel, I will not tolerate you attempting to prorogue my abjuration. Explain yourself at once. When the accused boarded the omnibus on the night in question, the victim was nowhere to be seen. Subsequently, the carriage door was not heard opening a single time, as testified by the witness in the stand, and yet the victim's body was found inside the carriage. If this petty thief's words are to be believed, how do you explain the victim's miraculous appearance from inside the cabin of the omnibus? There's only one way to explain how the victim came to be inside the carriage. I have no idea. I have no clue. I mean, he can't have already been there because she would have noticed. Another entrance she was Is it possible that he was put there after he died? Obviously, the victim must have been placed in a carriage after he was killed.
Objection!
Tell me, my learned friend, what was the function of that obviously in your last sentence? Huh? Well said, Lord Van Dykes. Obviously, it's troubling me also. No, it's really not the point. The point is that the victim must have been moved into the carriage afterwards. Then answer me this. How could a cadaver be placed inside a moving carriage? Well, obviously... Okay. Another entrance? The door wasn't opened even once. The only explanation is that the victim entered the enclosed cabin some other way.
Objection!
What new fantasy you would come up with in your blind panic? Behold, the omnibus is here for all to see. Only one side of the enclosed cabin is furnished with a door. The other only has windows. Fixed windows that cannot possibly open. In short, there is no entrance into the cabin other than the door.
Objection!
But there could be. There's one possibility you haven't considered. Oh, really? Yes, one other way inside that isn't the door. Another opening the use of which allow the victim to appear inside the enclosed cabin. The defense will identify the location for the court. Here?
Take that!
Aha! The answer is obvious. It can only be the skylight. I say, skylight?
Objection!
Your ludicrous proposal almost has me at be lost for words. However,
Objection!
the skylight may well be large enough for someone to pass through.
Objection!
So you claim, but do you have a shred of evidence to support your idle brain theory? Both Mr. McKinley and Miss Lestrade said the same in their testimonies. They each claimed that they heard a loud thud, such as a noise made by someone falling to the floor. Aha, yes! Yes, which has already been explained, as the sound of the victim falling from the seat, having been assaulted with a dagger. Yes, it has, but would a man slipping from the seat onto the floor really have made such a loud noise as the witnesses described? a noise loud enough to cause Miss Lestrade to let out an involuntary cry, in fact. Good gracious! Perhaps, in fact, that was the moment the victim made his entrance into the cabin. No, let me rephrase that. The victim didn't enter the cabin as such. He fell into it.
Objection!
You're now suggesting that the victim fell from the skylight into the cabin? That's simply impossible! How can you be so sure? Because if the victim had fallen inside through the skylight, as you say, the passengers on the roof deck would have seen it happen! And yet, not one person made mention of such events in their testimony. Modi! Well, yes, that's true, but... Might a humble fellow make a wee comment here. Mr. McGoden. To be sure now, the two fellows who were sat on the roof that testified afore said nothing of the victim falling through the skylight. But it seems to me, my lord, that 'tis not so much a case of them not saying, but... a case of them being unable to say. What? I think perhaps the two fellas... Do you be having something of a compelling reason not to mention what happened? Would yous not agree, fine ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Oh my goodness, surely not! Those two chaps on the roof... You mean the ones who struck the knife and the Batman were... Ah! Just what exactly are you insinuating here? You blitherer! You rotter, he said! You rotter! What are you insinuating? What the heck is up with that guy? This is a flaming outrage! I have a good mind to give you a blinker in a minute! I'll give you a shiner in a minute, he said, and so will I! That's a fair play. You're effectively accusing me, a city gentleman and a well-respected banker. And me, a very angry hatter! Suggesting that someone like me could have stabbed that man in the guts. It's a disgrace. That's scandalous. I protest in the strongest possible terms. That's right, I protest too. And about you, rotten scoundrel. Order! This is not the time, witnesses. We're not permit this wanton invasion of the stand. Return the anteroom at once. This is beyond my reason, my lord. It's outrageous. It's very hurtful, you know. My lord, if I may comment. Go ahead, Lord Van Zykes. It was a defense that incited this outburst from the witness. My learned friend has seen fit to abandon all protocol and accuse the witnesses without proof. Accused? I never intended to. It seems, young Negroes, your command of the English tongue is wanting. You propose to the court that the victim fell from the skylight from the roof deck of the omnibus. That hypothesis can't possibly stand without the rooftop passengers being aware of the events. You have branded these gentlemen liars. You have intimated their criminal guilt. In our British courts of law, that is what is termed a baseless accusation. I know it was rushed to put this like to be forward without any actual evidence, but you can't just dismiss it without a second thought. What are we wasting time for? Get up! Testify! I thought there was something fishy about that hat from the moment I laid eyes on the fellow. We have to see this matter through now, one way or another. If there's filth and rubbish in our midst, we must dispose of it at once. What's happening? So now, The spectators in the public gallery they're in a complete frenzy. Mr. Fairplay, Mr. First. My lord? You will take the stand again and make another formal testimony in reference to the indictment brought by the defense. Yes, my lord. I didn't come here for this. There's no time to think this through. All I could do is keep pushing forward. We were the only two people up on the roof deck, dead or alive. I can swear to that. If anything happened where we were sitting, don't you think the other of us would have noticed? In any case, neither of us know the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man. The skylight was shut the entire time, I tell you. We couldn't possibly have opened it. If you're so sure the victim fell to the skylight, where's your proof? I must say that, on listening to this testimony, it is somewhat hard to imagine. How either the witness could have performed any malevolent act on this open rooftop deck without the others noticing, noticing forthwith. That's right. You see? What else did I tell ya? Although logically, of course, the argument falls down to if the two of you were in collusion with one another. What? Eh? According to investigations by Scotland Yard, the two witnesses share no common dealings. What? Well, I don't trust couples any more than I trust Dick and Rich. So it doesn't feel right here. The trial is going in our favor, really. So why do I feel so uneasy? Counsel for the defense, over to you. Your cross-examination, please. Oh, yes, my lord. We were the only two people on the roof deck, dead or alive. I can swear to that.
Hold it!
So at no time did the victim, Mr. Mason, climb up to join you on the roof deck? Absolutely not, Dickin. No question about it, he said. Not at all. Oh, but yes, of course. I remember seeing them both. I saw the victim inside the enclosed cabin talking with this man here. Is this true, Mr. McGoden? Dear me, my lord. At the risk of repeating myself, I boarded the omnibus alone and nodded off inside almost immediately. That's an outright lie. Without doubt, you were engaged in... Let me stop you there, fella, and ask, do you have any evidence at all? Tis all about evidence in the courts these days, so it is. So you do well to remember that. I saw you with my own eyes! It's going so well. If anything happened while we were sitting, don't you think one or the other of us would have noticed? Frick. If anything happened, yeah.
Hold it!
Well, it was on the final run of the omnibus at past 10 o'clock in the evening. It would certainly have been quite dark, perhaps too dark to see clearly. Is this some kind of lark? Is this some kind of joke? He said. Hey, is that what it is? Perhaps one of the other of you fell asleep briefly. Are you fair dinkum, sir? Are you serious, sir? That's what he said. It's impossible, I tell ya. I'd give you the key to the vault if you could fall asleep in that bit of code. And if you did manage it, your eyelids would freeze shut and you never open them again. That's extreme. It was extreme, I tell you. And we had to put up with it because this man locked the door. And a true jet would have unlocked it and let me in when I knocked. I'm dreadfully sorry about that, young fella. You say I was away with the fairies and I didn't hear you at all. That's a lie! I saw you through the glass! You were talking to someone! Now, 'twas a cold night, so it was. People do be seeing things that aren't real in the cold. It's hardly surprising. Seeing things! I believe we have reached an impasse here at this particular point. You! Don't take it personally now, lad. I'm a suspect in this case, and it is only fair that you and the other fiend are too. Open and free competition is what a capitalist society is all about. This isn't a competition I should like to be involved in, really. In any case, neither of us know the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man. Scarlet was shut the entire time, I tell you. We couldn't possibly have opened it.
Hold it!
You had never met Mr. Thrice-fired Mason before? Oh, let me, no, not once. Oh, let me, never. He'd never met the man before, he said, never. And you, Mr. First, had no prior dealings with the victim either? That's right, sir. Hatters don't have much to do with brickmakers, to be perfectly honest, sir. No, I imagine not. You see, how many different ways can I put this? Neither of us had the remotest competent connection to the gentlemen who were inside the cabin.
Excuse me.
Yeah, excuse me. Mr. Bigoted? Yes? Yes, Castle? What can I be doing it for? Did the last statement give you a pause for something somehow? Not the remotest connection, is that right, I wonder? What are you insinuating now? Ah, Mr. Fairplay, it has been too long, so it has. Eh? If I'm not very much mistaken, I believe 'tis fast approaching, is it not, your repayment date? I beg your pardon? You borrow 20 guineas from me, sir. At an unconscionable rate of interest, you tricked me, it's extortion! Well now, that a touch of begrudgery, is it? The sort of begrudgery that might motivate a fellow to pass his crimes off on another? Ah! And young Mr. First. Me, sir? What do you want with me, sir? You do be making hats for a living, do you not? There's that there top hat sliding on your head. Is that one of your creations, is it? Oh, well, I'm just an apprentice, you understand? I'm learning to find the perfect fit for whatever fine gent walks through the door. The perfect fit, is it? Well, 'tis a very distinctive design, so it is. Many customers like it, I tell you. They like a distinctive touch. Customers. Customers such as thrice-fired Mason. There's a photographic print of the victim submitted as evidence form, my lord. Oh, this you mean? I can't help but think it, and this poor fellow's hat looks distinctly familiar, wouldn't you say? Oh! That's one of my hats! Aye, that it is. So it seemed the brickmaker was a customer of yours. The sort of customized waiter you could have had a wee quarrel with over the distinctiveness of the goods. Oh, no, sir. Absolutely not, sir. Well, there is really nothing more to add. I wouldn't be right to say that the two fellas here haven't the rubberless connection to the victim, you see. I risk my case. You little weasel! Ugh! He's better at this than I am. Gosh, Mr. McGill has certainly been thorough in his research, hasn't he? Please, don't let me a little interruption hold up the investigation of the proceeding. Scotland shut the entire time, I tell you. We couldn't possibly have opened it.
Hold it!
Are you certain about that? The skylight was shut the entire time? I'm going to lose my block with you in a minute! I'm going to lose this rag with you in a minute! That's what I said! Take a look for yourself. Go on! You see? It's shut fast now, just like it was on the night. So it is, of course. A fellow the size of Mr. Mason could likely break through it still and all. What? Just look at the size of the thing, you understand. Now, hold on there a minute. The silent tag means nothing. Not on its own. Let's get into the bigger picture here, shall we? Let's stop fighting arcane, shall we? I was running the omnibus on another occasion when, well, when I broke wind loudly. I sucked myself with it as it happened. Wait, did he fart? This is an unexpected confession, Mr. First. Oh, I just mean to say, well, the point is, I tried to open the skylight, you see. But it's just my luck, I couldn't make it budge. The stench was terrible, I did. Everyone was looking daggers at me. I went red on the rouge, I did. Are you expecting me to sentence you? Oh, no sir, the point is, the skylight can't be open. I tried when I was into the cabin of shame.
That ain't.
That I...
Excuse me.
Hey,
Do you have anything to say about Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade. Yeah, it opens. Huh? The skylight. That's what we were talking about, right? All of them skylights open dead easy. More easily than you can load that weapon? That's a lie, I tell you. Otherwise, when I broke wind, You can't do it from the inside, you mug. Oh. Look, a few weeks ago, I was on the roof deck of one of them drags, and I had a great all on me. I had buzzes coming out of me ears. Mr. Straight, this is not the forum to be eulogizing on the subject of your criminal activities. Well, anyway, I had a bit of a scare. When I lifted that last bloke's purse, he got wise to me. All four of them surrounded me, so I couldn't hop off the bus and lay it. So what I did, I used the skylight, open the catch, and jump right through. What? Yeah, the catch for them skylight is on the top side. That's why you can't open them from inside the cabin. The skylight opens from the roof deck. Bailiff! Climb up into the roof of the omnibus at once and verify this witness's claims. Yeah, there's a bit of a latch there. Is it there not? Yep. Aha! Oh, my hat! See? Order! It appears the street girl's statement is quite true. I don't believe it. The skylight opens! And from the roof deck! Mr. Naruhodo, this could be the clue we've been looking for. Well, counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. So the skylight opens. Perhaps I should investigate for myself. If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? The light was fastened shut before, but now the catch has been undone. We should be able to open it. Mm-hmm. It really seems like the carriage through this opening, that's for sure. Yes, there's a lamp in the closed area, so I'm sure the witnesses would have been received quite clearly. That's not good for us. Let's go inside, I guess. Aha! Yes, it does open very wide, doesn't it? Wide enough to kick someone like you through, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo. Why someone like me? What is it? Look, just here. Look at this. That's without question. It's blood. Why would there be blood stain here? Surely it can't be unrelated to the case, can it? Oh boy. Oh boy. We got something.
Hold it!
Proof. That's right, I demand to hear it! We came here to say what we saw, I tell you, not for this! But you call the both shysters,
chases British as criminals who call us liars. That's what he means. And accuse us of doing it. As it stands at the moment, there's no hard evidence that incriminates these sales now, is there? I believe we're in much the same position as one another, yeah? Huh? Ah! If I don't crack this case soon, he'll crack his teeth! I wonder if these two men really were involved in some way. I couldn't say. I mean, I don't really know anything about them, do I? Although, by the same token, I don't really know anything about Mr. McGilden either. It's so hard to know what to believe here. I think we should try to remember that it's evidence alone that can truly determine the outcome of a trial. Evidence. No one can argue against the decisive evidence, including the members of the jury. So you're saying that what we need now is to find a conclusive piece of evidence. Yes, Mr. Naruto, precisely. Alright, let's do that. If anything had happened, I think one of us would have noticed. Okay. It has to be this, right?
Objection.
Yeah. On the night in question, the victim was fatally stabbed in the stomach. And immediately afterwards, the victim's body was pushed through the skylight into the cabin below. Those are the facts, and the irrefutable proof. Remains clearly visible in the omnibus that stands before us today in this very courtroom. What? That's utter humbug! You can't possibly have any evidence! No, you can't! I mean, we didn't do it, I tell you! It's impossible! Irrefutable proof. Here in this courtroom? Counsel. Well, Lord. I believe everyone would appreciate a little clarification here. Where exactly within the omnibus is this evidence to which you allude? Point out through... Right there! Yes, it does open very wide, doesn't it? We're gonna have to keep someone like you through it, certainly.
Got it.
By Jupiter, is that blood? Ah! This bloodstain proves two things. Firstly, when the incident occurred, the skylight of the omnibus was open. What? And secondly, the victim was already bleeding when he fell through the opening. Oh my! And so it follows that Mr. McGilden, who was inside the enclosed cabin himself at the time, cannot possibly be guilty of this crime! And I need to replace my battery. Be right back. Give me a sec. Order, order! There we go. There we go. There we go. Bravo.
Hold it.
But the blood could have been sprayed up there where the fellow was stabbed inside the cabin! If and only on its way to that one particular spot on the skylight? Sure, and that would be very convenient. And let's keep it in mind that the skylight catch can only be unfastened from the roof deck. I myself wouldn't have been able to open it now, would I? But, there's no way to know for certain, is there? If the jet really fell through the skylight, I mean... Why don't we have a good look at the floor of the cabin between the two seats, Mr. First? 'Tis all too plain, if you see. There's the aftermath that shows the poor fella dropped from a fair height right there, so it is. What? No! But it can't be! It's all... lies!
Hold it.
My fellow jury members! I think we can all agree that this is clear proof of the defendant's innocence, can't we? I believe it can, sir. But yes, sir. It's clear to me that, where the filthy rubbish can be found in this courtroom. So, they thought they could pull the wool over my eyes, did they? I won't tolerate any good characters being sullied with blood. I won't tolerate it!
Oh, I always knew that nice gentleman who gave us that delightful pot couldn't have done such a thing.
Man, you guys are wish-washy. On three then, everyone. 1, 2, 3.
Objection!
A chilling performance, Mr. McGilded. Oh, hey, what are you referring to now? Lord Van Zykes. A bloodstain on the frame of the skylight? Such evidence is null and void. What? Why? For one extremely simple reason. That smear of blood never existed.
Objection!
What are you talking about? It's there for all to see, and it's clearly blood!
Objection!
I personally attended Scotland Yard's investigation of the omnibus. The officers involved went over the carriage with a fine-tooth comb. So I can state with absolute surety, no such smear of blood existed in the carriage. At least, not until this trial began. But, are you suggesting Walter Van Dyke that the stain of blood was fabricated, my lord? Yes, and while this court has been in session. What? What a palaver. Hello there. I must say I didn't expect such a crude reasoning from a prosecutor of your standing, letting Lord Van Zykes. What on Magnus McGilded, a better known all over the capital for his fine contributions to public life. I don't take kindly to slander, and I'll fight to the bitter end. Even if it's rolling off the tongue of the Reaper of Bailey. Mr. McGilded, I realize this is your first appearance in court as the accused. However, I am well aware of your involvement behind the scenes in a great many affairs of dubious nature. You are very adept when it comes to avoiding getting your own hands dirty. And each time it happens, that a case you're involved in is investigated, you adapt to the facts. Adapt to the facts? What does that even mean? When you wield a force on the side of Mr. McGilded's, however, ill-gotten it may be, nothing is impossible. Tampering with evidence, manipulating the scene of the crime, bribing witnesses. I toast your ability to concoct the most convenient of stories, sir. Tut-tut, Lord Van Zykes, this will not do to be sure. Will it now, counsel? Huh? Oh, no! I think it's fair to say that this doll sounds like a rather far-fetched excuse by a desperate man. The blood on the skylight didn't exist, you say? But if you will all cast your minds back, is it not true that the omnibus there has been in the courtroom the entire time? How could anyone possibly have put a spear of blood in it without the warden and his wife seeing? Isn't that right now, counsel? It's true. It has been there the whole time. But the omnibus hasn't been in fuel through the entire time the court has been in session. Except for the smoke, my learned friend. Here's to hearing your opinion on this matter, in your own words. As you wish. Could someone have tampered with the omnibus during this trial? If you're asking me, I think... If I'm being truthful... I mean... It could have been possible, though. That's the thing. As a defense lawyer, it's my job to advocate for the defendant as best I can. But still, I feel as though there's something even more important at stake here. There's no evidence to suggest the defendant did it as my learned friend suggests. However, in terms of having the opportunity to carry out the alleged tampering, there is one possibility. Oh, good gracious! Explain yourself, counsel! Yes, there is. It seems my learned Japanese friend has no intention of running from this deceit. Deceit? I'm sure everyone still remembers clearly the recess that we were forced to take. As well as the smoke grenade fired by the witness currently in the stand, Miss Gina Lestrade. Yeah. But could someone really have... What's going on? Be careful, Mr. Mahoto. Cover your face. Bailiff, don't let the accused escape. Secure the omnibus. But wait a minute! The courtroom was filled with smoke, and everyone was thrown into confusion. All of us were made to leave the chamber. In that brief interval, under the veil of smoke and in all that chaos, it could have been possible to steal inside the omnibus. But... Ah! Are you wise? What are you trying to pull? You rotten feckless gouger! Feckless gouger? You're supposed to be the defending me! It's a wicked plot! The plot to undermine me, so it is!
Objection!
Whatever you think it is, it changes nothing. The facts are the same. After this courtroom was evacuated earlier as a result of the smoke grenade, a number of inconsistencies materialized in relation to the omnibus. Inconsistency, you say? To start with, the storage compartment under the rear passenger seat. When the police investigated the omnibus, the compartment was full of driver's items. Secondly, we have a smear of blood on the edge of the skylight. As I have said, that was not present at the start of the trial this morning. Unfortunately, Morgan Van Zykes, no one is able to corroborate your claims. That's true. When the omnibus was first wheeled out, both the storage compartment and the skylight were shut. And accordingly, I'm afraid to say, we cannot establish with any certainty if this evidence is a result of tampering or not. Indeed, my lord. No doubt there was not a single person who saw fit to verify such things. What do you think? Sorry? Oh. Give me a second.
Sorry about that. I was like, I should have put up the BRB. Sorry about that. Anyway, about the omnibus. Is there anything unusual about the omnibus? I have no idea. If I'm honest, I don't remember what I examined when I in an omnibus. I can't verify that this either way. At the moment in time, the defense can't. Yeah, point out one other inconsistency. A mark that surely could not have been present at the start of the trial. What? Mrs. Sato, what are you doing? I examined the omnibus with you, don't forget. There's something that seems out of place compared to how the carriage looked originally. That's what we need to identify now. What the devil's name are you gonna say now? If you dare betray me, you little maggot, you better start watching your back.
Objection!
Silence begilded. The court awaits the defense's clarification. Ugh. The trial keeps thinking one way, then the other. I have no idea what's truth and what's deception. What am I supposed to believe here? Okay, what are we gonna do? Yeah.
Got it!
If we consider that the victim fell through the skylight onto the floor of the cabin, you would certainly expect to find signs of blood where he landed. As far as I recall, this bloodstain on the cabin floor was not there when the omnibus was first brought into the courtroom. Good lord! Yes, I do believe you're correct, counsel. Well said. Although, as advocate for the defense, one might say that it was a very clear slip of the tongue. I believe that bloodstain on the floor was a decisive piece of evidence. But if the question is whether that evidence is genuine or whether it was unlawfully fabricated by someone, I feel compelled to admit that there's at least a possibility that the evidence is fake. So what does this mean? Where... This trial is over! Mr. McGildet, I've done everything possible I can cooperate with the court, but it's all over now! But you're the defendant! It's over, I tell you! Memory, recollection, what people think they saw, it's all nonsense! Facts are what counts, and the fact is, that bloodstain is there! Now! Well... And over the course of this desperate trial, long and extremely drawn out as it been, the good-for-nothing Reaper of the Beely has failed to present any decisive evidence at all! I'm scandalized, so I am. I fought better of lords and Zykes. Well, my lord? I must concur with the defendant. The unaffirmed recollections of an individual cannot stand as evidence. At this moment in time, the particular bloodstain in question is very much in existence, and in the absence of any credible method by which to prove its alleged previous non-existence, I regret to say it would be improper for this trial to continue. Your lordship can't be serious! Lord Van Zykes, what is your position? Yeah, this is honestly, this could probably be considered a mistrial at this point. The prosecution, my lord. has no further witnesses or evidence to present. Very well. In that case, as I believe we have explored every possible avenue in this matter, proceed with my adjudication. As a formality, I am of course obliged to confirm with the defense first. What formality? As things stand at the moment, it would seem that Mr. McGolded will be found not guilty. Yes, which would mean we won. Is that really the right outcome here? Is it really alright for the trial to come to an end now with all these unexplained inconsistencies? Counsel for the defense, your closing statement, please. Yes, my lord. The defense believes... What happens if we say this? I am here in this courtroom today to advocate for the defense of my client, Mr. Godin, but however, at this moment in time, I can't in all good conscience attest fully to the defendant's innocence. What are you saying, man? Without any question, there is no conclusive evidence to prove that the defendant is guilty. However, there is also no conclusive evidence to prove that he is innocent. Good gracious me! Order! Order! This is unprecedented behavior, counsel. A defense lawyer calling the accused innocent into question? Are you of sound mind? Oh, 'twas a grand decision to appoint you as my lawyer. It was a grand decision. What? I must say, I didn't expect quite an exciting spectacle at the end there, but still. Here, add this for your troubles. Yuck! Your job here is done, fella, and some fine work you've done, so you have. What do you mean? Tis just as the right honorable gentleman so steelly put it afore. The trial can't go on anymore. And your closing statement there was, how did we put it now, nothing more than a formality. My gosh. I really don't know what to make of all this. Was the evidence we see genuine, or was it fake? His lordship would be fuming at the unsightly rubbish which we disposed of promptly, as I said. Stinking rich are always guilty of something. Mark my words!
I feel terribly ashamed that I ever doubted that lovely man who gave us a lovely park.
This is uncomfortable. Now that proceedings have been called in this way, I am compelled to declare a premature end to this trial. Furthermore, the court must accept the defendant's plea. I thank ye kindly, my lord. I hereby pronounce the verdict of this court.
Objection!
But we still haven't determined if the bloodstain in the omnibus is genuine or not! We don't know if these witnesses are telling the truth or a pack of lies! We have no idea about the truth! Lord Van Zykes. Oh lord. The case made by the prosecution was flawed, plain and simple. If indeed the omnibus presented as evidence was tampered with, the prosecution is at fault for allowing such a disgraceful perversion of justice to take place. My sincerest apologies, my lord.
Objection!
But wait! When we were evacuated from the courtroom, Lord Van Zykes ordered the evidence to be secured! I'm afraid the prosecution cannot shun responsibility in this matter. That's so unfair! The culpability of the culprit has not been, at the present time been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment. What? Well, Lord Van Zykes, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense. You mean to tell me this has all been a grand waste of time? This is the law of the land, my good man. If you'd like to pursue this matter further, you can always go ahead and try to change the law. Magnus Gilded. Good grief, you've more to say to me, have you? Just one thing, a warning. This is far from over. Well, something to look forward to then. I hereby pronounce the defendant, Mr. Magnus Begilded, not guilty. So, we did it, but this feels so empty. This doesn't feel right. I can't believe it. This is an outright. They should examine the evidence more. What are you talking about? The man's been cleared. He's innocent. With the courtroom in pandemonium for the second time that day, the judge delivered his verdict. And my first ever trial in Great Britain came to an abrupt end, with the defendant being found not guilty. Ostensibly a victory for us. But that just... There is so much wrong with this! That certainly was a long trial. Yes, it was. Your first ever trial on foreign soil, and your first victory. It was a wonderful performance. My heartfelt congratulations. And to you, Mrs. Sato, thank you for your assistance. I suppose we should be happy. We're still completely in the dark about what actually happened. Well, we didn't have enough time. But isn't it wrong? I mean, who was actually responsible for Mr. Mason's death? We don't even know that! The sole aim of the defense is to obtain a verdict that exonerates the defendant. You carried out your duty to perfection. No, you did. Mr. McGo did. That girl was with him too. Well, it seems the stories are true! Oh, what stories? About 6 enormous fireworks they do be letting off under the verdict of not guilty. I'm sure you must have seen them now. Spectacular, wouldn't you say? Yes, definitely. I thought it was a sight to behold, and to be sure it was. And I'm to you to thank, I suppose, for having an opportunity to see it. Oh, I don't know about that. I'm not sure I really did anything. What are you saying, fella? How did I walk out of there a free man then? I don't think it was so much thanks to me as down to your planning. Yeah, straight talking fella, aren't you? I must say, you had me straight in the head there once or twice. But you're young and headstrong. Yeah, there's water under the bridge. Congratulations, Mr. Recorded, on having your name cleared. But nothing's resolved. There's only one thing that matters to me. Huh? Aye. They've all saying that I didn't do that odious and obstinate deed. Because granted, is it not? I suppose it is. Now the fine fellows of Scotland Yard can take matters in their own hand and sort out any wee details. They'll see for what it is. They'll get to the truth. And I've absolute faith in them, so I have. After all, I do be providing a good number of their wages with the other taxes I pay. It's not that funny. So then, as we agreed beforehand, 1,000 guineas for your trouble, fella. Oh no, I couldn't possibly accept that much. But I'll be what I see humble people are here from the east. Well, if you insist. But have this, still in all, you deserve a reward. Mr. Magnus Gilded. Everything is ready, sir! If you'd like to follow me into the courtroom! Courtroom? What's this, officer? 'Tis sooner than I was led to believe. I hope it's not inconvenient, sir! There are some changes to the schedule! Well, once we making tracks now, it's time for the inspection. Sorry, what inspection? They're going to examine the omnibus again. So I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. They're going to examine it again? Now? Naturally, I'm under no obligation to take part in it anymore in this matter now. But as an upstanding member of London society, I do be doing my best to help where I can. 'Tis a gentleman's duty, so it is. Sorry, had to cough. So then, fare thee well. 'Twas an absolute pleasure meeting yous. I hope you have a whale of a time while you're studying here in Great Britain. And there he goes, a free man. Oh, I forgot she was here too. Hey. Don't move. Whereas I want to say get a move on. She really does take forever to load things. Mrs. Straight, would you mind putting that thing down? You're a grown-up. Sorry? And I hate all grown-ups. Ah, there you are. What the? Naughty. How you not even running off like that? Is this some kind of picnic? Who's this little girl now? And carrying that with you as well. I was looking forward to try one of my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Oh, you wanna play? You won't beat me. Excuse me, but who are you? Oh, good to you. I'm, well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine. The inventor? Well, no, smoke grenades are so dull, don't you agree? White, and more white. If you had to be shot in the smoke, it could at least be pretty color, I thought to myself. Do we have to be shrouded in smoke, though, at all? I just took my eyes off it for a moment whilst I was changing it, out of a different omnibus. Like, changing onto a different omnibus, and she pinched it. Luckily, I fitted it with a telegraphic beacon. What's it? What? I have no idea what this girl is talking about. Anyway, you're going with me now back to my laboratory. What for? To apologize, of course, silly. To my technician. What? You say sorry? You must say sorry when you've done something wrong. Surely an adult has told you that before. An adult? I don't listen to no adults. Come along now, follow me. Fine, have it your way. Oh good, you see, I knew you'd want to do the right thing in the end. I'm very sure that what she wants is not to get shot by that massive gun of yours. Well, we'll be leaving now. Bye-bye! I'm so sorry for all the fuss. She was a lively one. Huh, I'm sure we'll never see her again. Well, do you think perhaps we ought to be on our way now too? Yes, you're right. But where to? Oh, we had time to play, trying to find a place to stay. No sooner had we arrived in London than we had a place to rush here. All our traveling cases are still up with the bailiff. I was originally planning to spend the day in search of lodgings, but at this late hour in the day, I'm afraid we may be out of luck. Don't worry though, I have a plan. If worst comes to worst, I've heard of a lovely park where we could spend the night. Please tell me you're not thinking of McGilded Park. I know it may be a little chilly at this time of year, but our youthfulness will see it through. I'm not sure about that. I think a midwinter London night will freeze a young person solid just as easily as a young elderly one. Oh dear, that doesn't sound agreeable. Now I'm starting to regret turning Mr. McGilded down. 1,000 guineas would have paid for a lovely warm room, or mansion. And so, the trial to determine my worthiness for the study tour was over by the end of our first stay in London. However, as we were soon to learn, there were more trying times ahead. Just as the Reaper of the Bailey had warned, the case was far from over.
What's going on? Get the fire brigade! Water! Bring water, quick! What the? How did this happen? I don't know, sir. By the time I got here, it was already engulfed. No one was supposed to be allowed in here before we started investigating. No. Oh, good God. There's someone in there. This can't be.
What just happened in there? Oh, that's it. Oh boy. Well. Well, next will be the adventure of the Clouded Kokoro, but I'm interested in one little thing. And we have quite a bit of time to do that, like to do other things. Well, so why not? I'm just gonna take a look real quick. What happens if we just play dumb and just be like, defendant is innocent? As Mr. McDonald's legal representative. I can't breathe. The air in here is stifling. But I'm this man's defense lawyer. There's only one thing I can say in this situation. I believe the defendant, Magnus Gilded, is to be innocent of the allegations brought against him. Thank you, counsel. Here's to you, my Japanese friend, and the most abject closing I've yet to hear in a court of law. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's it. Alright, well. Well, well, next time, we'll be continuing on. And yeah.